Hi, I have been a donor for Open Arms here for 4 donations. Open Arms actually was introduced to me from one of my girlfriends, my absolute best friend. She had the same situation that a lot of these women who are looking for donors are going through. And many years ago she had come here and met with these women, and I had asked her about the process, and she said, you know what, you would be a great donor, you should try it out. So one night I applied online and thought, you know what, this seems like something that I would be good at, that I would be interested in doing, and from there it was history, and I've been there ever since. Each donation was very different, first by location. The first time I traveled all the way to Miami, had no idea what I was doing. There was a lot of flying involved and grabbing a taxi and where do you go to eat, but it was exciting and it was a lot of fun. My last 3 were in Tampa, also a lot of traveling, but at this point I kind of had a grasp of things and the doctors were very familiar with me, so it got quicker and faster. The appointments were a lot less painless per se. It actually became enjoyable having my mornings spending with such a great staff. The second part that was different was each intended parent that I had was completely different. My first set of intended parents, I had no idea anything about them, who they were. They never talked to me. It was very anonymous, which is fine. Everyone has a choice. Everyone wants it differently. It's completely up to them. My second one, I didn't have any interaction with them, but they did send me an amazing letter at the very end, kind of outlining their appreciation. They sent me a beautiful bouquet of flowers, so it was very nice to feel appreciated in that sense and know that it had been so successful. And then my last ones, both of the intended parents were very interested in knowing more about me. I actually did a webcam with them. I couldn't see them, but they could see me, and they asked me some questions, and we kind of got to know each other on that level. I've never actually done an open donation where they've known who I am and I've also known who they are. I've never met any of the intended parents. I would certainly be open to it. I think that it would be an amazing experience, but it is their choice, it is your choice. The first challenge I faced was the injections. I was completely terrified of needles my entire life up until this point, and when I found out, oh, you have to inject yourself twice a day, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. And I remember the first day that I opened up the package and assembled the needle, and I'm like reading the instructions and my hands are shaking, and I did it, and it wasn't that bad. It was, I mean, my mind made it seem worse than it actually was, but after you get into the routine of it, it's really not that bad, and the needles are so tiny you barely even feel them. So that was my first challenge, but I got over that pretty quick. And then the second challenge, I actually didn't even realize it until my 3rd and 4th cycle, was the time that goes into it. For the first 2 cycles, I was a student, and so I could just up and leave whenever I felt like it. It was no big deal, but when you're in your 3rd and 4th, and I was running a company at this point, it was difficult to leave and go do the appointments at a drop of a hat. You really have to know your schedule and know your lifestyle and know that, hey, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, they might call you to go to the doctor's office, and you have to be able to go there. You can't say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm at work, I can't go, because time is so important, and your timeline to the hour, to the minute, could make or break whether it works or not. So you really have to take that into consideration when you're deciding. Advice. I have so much advice, but I'll go with just a couple main points. Definitely check with your doctor. Make sure you're ready for the process. Check with yourself. Make sure you're ready for the process. There is a lot of time involved, so make sure that your life is ready for this process. Support is really huge. I was very lucky to have really supportive girlfriends who knew I was going through the process, and they actually wanted to know more about it. My mother, not so much, so you really are going to get a mixture of people who are really positive about it and wanting to know, and people who are like, what are you doing? Why? I don't understand. So you really just have to take that opportunity to be an advocate for the whole procedure, for the whole process, and kind of explain to people what it is, and just be open-minded. I really didn't know I wanted to be a donor until someone introduced me to the process, and I came and met everyone, and they were all so friendly, so amazing, and so much like family, that once you get here you truly feel like you're in Open Arms and you just want to be a part of it. And when you finally get chosen for that family and they need you, you go to your calling. And once you start with the process, you just can't stop. It's addicting. Helping people like this is just absolutely amazing.